For the past 5 years, I've spent the early summers searching for an elusive bird called the mountain quail up in the mountains where I live. During mating season, the call of this bird can be heard for miles echoing through the forest. But getting up close with them is a whole different ballgame. They're skittish, and almost always when you're right about to see one, they run off on you, deep into the thicket, nowhere to be found. I've been successful in past years getting decent photos of them, but I am still missing the perfect shot of one that I'm really hoping for. So, coming up on this 5th year of attempting to photograph them, I'm making my final attempt to get an amazing photo of a mountain quail. And what I was able to get this year was far from what I was expecting. As most summers have begun, I started off at my special location I have for a singing fox sparrow. In previous years, I've gotten some amazing photos here, and when you catch this location right at sunrise, it's a golden spot. The lighting comes through the line of trees in the background in interesting patterns. You can use foreground elements pretty much however you'd like with the bushes, and you can always rely on the fox sparrow that claims this territory to be singing in the mornings here. If conditions are right, you can even get bird breath as he sings over his land. Getting here well before sunrise gave me some time to set up angles and search for what I liked. Unfortunately, due to my recent trip in Norway, I'm a little later in reference to time of year to this location than I normally am, and it's warmer than usual, making me doubt if I could get any shots of breath rolling off the bird's beak. A less common warbler in my area popped up for a quick look at me, which was a treat to see, but my attention was fixed on the fox sparrow. As the sun continued to rise, the breath had disappeared, and the sun was beginning to get too harsh. While I couldn't get exactly what I wanted, I still got some pretty nice frames of the fox sparrow with foreground elements accenting the image nicely. Oh my goodness, we literally had a mountain quail just right there on the edge of the meadow, and I've never ever in my 5 years of photographing them gotten to see them on the edge of the meadow right there, but it flushed off because it was way too close to me. But oh my goodness, that was really cool. Gone. Man, it's crazy how hard it is to get these guys. I couldn't even see him, and he was way far out and still. Whew. Since I started taking my wildlife photography seriously back in 2020, I knew that I had to build a website. Since then, I've been using Squarespace to showcase my work and be the hub for my brand as a wildlife photographer. I've recently been using Squarespace to start selling prints, as it's the perfect way to host an online storefront. As I've been promoting them, I've also become a huge fan of Squarespace's built-in analytics, as it gives me detailed reports on how much traffic comes through each page, which buttons they are clicking on, and how long they spend on each page.
Right now, I'm in the middle of hosting my very own creator-led live wildlife photography competition here on YouTube. And using Squarespace, I've been able to set up and build a website from the ground up that allows you guys to submit your images directly to me. For this year's competition, I'm offering a $1,000 cash grand prize and 4 $500 first place prizes for our main 4 categories. We also have a popular vote category that takes place live during the event and a new photographers category for anyone who's been doing wildlife photography 2 years or less. Thanks to Squarespace's CSS, I've been able to build this website exactly how I wanted to with all the customization, and it's been a game changer for hosting a competition like this. Submissions to my competition close in just 1 week from now on September 22nd, so if you want the chance to win from $5,000 worth of prizes, make sure to get your images in before then. And if you want to build your own website using Squarespace, head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/JEREMYNEIPP for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
With no mountain quail photos yet, I continued my search around the forest. After 5 years of visiting the same remote meadow, I've grown fond of the place, and it's sad to see this journey wrap up to an end. But you know what they say, all good things come to an end, and it felt right to move on from this place after this year. On the way out from the meadow, an American robin was grazing in it, and I spent a moment with it, just for old time's sake. Crossing the stream through the meadow, I looked closer into the water and noticed an unholy sight. No wonder why they say not to go in stagnant waters. I know I don't want these little critters crawling on me. The following week, I returned to another day in the meadow. Little did I know, this would be my last excursion I'd have in the area, and my time in the meadow would come to an end. I decided to head over to an old familiar area this morning, the spot where I've gotten my best photos of mountain quail yet, over in a tiny gorge slope running up a hill. I've always heard mountain quail here, and it seems to be one of the hottest spots for them, so I'd bank my luck there once again today. I stopped by to say hi to the red-winged blackbirds I've watched for so many years out in the meadow, and ran across another sign of life along the way.
So, we passed through this area just maybe 5 days ago, and we didn't recognize any bear tracks, but these look pretty fresh, and definitely could only be made by the size of a bear here, so it's pretty exciting.
I made my way over to the location and set myself up waiting for a quail. I was hearing some up out beyond some of the trees, so I was hoping they would make their way up this hill like they typically do, and if so, I would be ready. After 5 years of countless times chasing, waiting, and finding, I was hoping that this was the one time I would get it right. All I needed was one good moment. As I sat there for the next 20 minutes and the sun was just about to come over the edge, I finally got my chance. 2 mountain quail came out foraging from the side of the tree line. Placing myself behind the bush kept me less visible and less intimidating to them. And staying still, this seemed to be my first time ever with them not flushing immediately upon sightline. I couldn't believe that my moment had finally come. 5 years had boiled down to this moment, and as they foraged along that hillside, one hopped up onto a rock, giving some fantastic views to get an amazing photo. I could not believe that I finally got shots as good as these ones with such a difficult bird. By far my best images of them. And I couldn't think of a better way to wrap up this series than with this photo. After so much work, I'm finally happy to be able to say I have good photos of mountain quail from my local area. It goes to show that the best things in life aren't always easy, but almost always worth it. I hope this adventure inspires you to keep trying with whatever that difficult shot is that you're going after, and to never give up on the things in life that seem hard. Thanks for watching. Just a reminder that you can enter my wildlife photography competition through the link in the description below. And if you want to see my previous adventure searching to photograph mountain quail, check out this playlist here in the end screen.